as well. We'll take you to the top of the hour with some picks from the primetime games as well as picks. We'll have some plays for tomorrow's MAC action as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at our show for today. Who's on our show? We'll start it off with Brian Bittler. Bittler will be with us. Al Ninos will join us. Rod Zawacki, once he gets his Windows, he just upgraded from Windows XP, I think. He's doing an upgrade right now. So hopefully he'll have that upgrade completed, and he'll join us, as will my co-host Chris Ruffalo. So let's go ahead and bring Chris in right now. Chris, how's it going? Some interesting news moving it as we move it through the NFL weekend. Saints with quarterback issues because he's Jameis Winston at quarterback. I thought it was an impressive win by the LA Rams over Seattle, but they lose their left tackle possibly for the season. Miracles with Arizona. A lot of good action in the late games. Miami solidifying themselves definitely as a playoff contender, and the Patriots getting off the mat.
Yeah, we went over it a little bit on the morning show, and I'll tell you, I'm a Patriots fan, and even I counted New England out in that game. I mean, from what we've seen from a lot of New England football games this season, you would have thought maybe that they wouldn't have been able to keep up with what Baltimore brought to the table. But kudos to the Patriots and whoever had them. I was on the other side of that one, but you know what? It's all right. We move forward. But looking at some of those other games, I mean, I think the biggest disappointment for me was Cincinnati. I mean, you look at what I thought this was a team that was covering spreads left and right, that was battling, considering they were only a 2-win team last year and matched that win total through halfway through the season so far this year. But they just, in divisional game, Pittsburgh just rolled in. I thought that Big Ben was going to have a little bit of an issue. I thought his knees were banged up. I didn't think he was 100%, but proved me wrong again there as well. But definitely, I think Miami is a team to watch down the stretch. I think this is a team that, if Buffalo continues to make mistakes, I would not be surprised to see Miami maybe push for maybe the division crown by the end of the season.
Yeah, that's correct. They no doubt can do that. Here on the drive-thru, joined with Chris Ruffalo as a kind of recap a little bit of the action from last week. And this NFC West, when you're looking at the Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams, it's going to pretty much be a dogfight to the finish. I thought the Raiders, with that getting separation here on Denver, they showed me something yesterday, because I know a lot of people were on the dog in that one.
For sure, because that's a prototypical look-ahead spot for Oakland with a revenge game from Kansas City up on deck. I think the Chiefs are going to come in and they're going to be out for blood, especially in division game against the Las Vegas team that I believe handed them their only loss this season. So that was definitely a look-ahead spot, but Las Vegas came in, got the better of it, got the job done. And as far as the NFC West goes, you're absolutely right, Tony. I mean, this is going to be a 3-team race down to the very end. I mean, you never really want to count anybody out, especially a defending NFC champion, but the 49ers just look shot at this point. And, Seattle, for being the highest scoring team in the league this season, are also one of the worst defensive teams in the league, which we're not normally used to saying for a Seahawks team under Pete Carroll. But I think that, the Rams, if they can, get over the offensive line issues that you mentioned earlier, they could be a team to look out for, because Jared Goff's playing some of the better football of his career. But I honestly think the team to watch in this division, the team I've yet to mention, is the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, you see what bringing in DeAndre Hopkins in the steal of the offseason has done for this team. You've given Kyler Murray a proven target. You don't have to rely on him and an aging Larry Fitzgerald to try to move the ball down the field anymore. You've got a volume pass catcher as your number one, and it opens the field up for the rest of the team. And I think you pair him with a running back like Kenyon Drake and whoever else is running the ball whenever Drake's hurt. This is an Arizona offense that's legit as it gets, and the defense is stepping up as well.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, of course, let's kind of switch the topics here. We go to NBA. Chris Paul making some headlines here, looking like he's going to be moving over to the Phoenix Suns. I thought Dennis Schroeder to the Lakers was a good move. I guess that's what you get for speaking up if you're on the Lakers, Danny Green. Now you start talking about rest management and all this stuff. They sure get you out of tap pretty quickly there.
Oh, I mean, you know what? And it's nice to sort of see Phoenix starting to make moves. I mean, we kind of talked about it when we were talking about potential in the draft for maybe Phoenix to go out and get another star player, maybe get in free agency. And what do they do now? they ship out, Ricky Rubio, Kelly Oubre, and Ty Jerome and a first round pick in 2022 for arguably a Hall of Famer. At least I think he is. First ballot potentially. For one of the best players in the NBA, for a point guard that can take the load off of Devin Booker in the backcourt, and I think you can make Devin Booker the scoring guard that he's meant to be. And now you have DeAndre Ayton inside. This is a young team that can surround Chris Paul, who can bring in that veteran presence, that winning presence. And I think all of a sudden now you've got a Phoenix team that is among those teams, like we've mentioned before, your Denvers of the world and your Utah Jazzes and stuff like that, where teams that are not necessarily in your Los Angeles market, your bigger markets, but teams that can come into 3, 4, maybe even a 5 seed and make some noise come playoff time.
We're going to see how he impacts the pace because, believe it or not, Chris Paul did slow down the pace a little bit when he was with the Houston Rockets. People talked about that a lot because people looked at the Rockets as an over team. They went under quite a bit, and it's because, you look at their points per possession. It wasn't we thought it was going to be a high flying. No, he kind of slows it down a little bit because he methodically runs the offense and have some sort of control. But I thought it was a move in this regard. It seems to me when Chris Paul surrounds himself with younger players, it's a better fit than when he has veterans because Chris Paul tends to be a coach on the court. And some of the veterans like Harden we've seen in the past, they don't like that coaching they get from Chris Paul on the court.
No, because, let's just take Houston as a prime example, right? You've got Chris Paul when he was there with James Harden, and Chris Paul's going to coach on the floor, but James Harden's going to be a guy that takes 30 shots a game and do it unapologetically. And those are two guys that just butted heads, which ultimately led to Chris Paul being shipped out to OKC for Russell Westbrook. And now look at what the Rockets are. The Rockets are now going to potentially lose one, if not both, of their star players from this past year's team, as we're hearing rumblings of James Harden potentially to the Brooklyn Nets. Russell Westbrook just wanting out of Houston altogether, regardless of if they find a partner or not. I think you hit the nail on the head, Tony. I think Chris Paul, when he's surrounded by younger players, it gives him a chance to sort of be that floor general, be the guy that's sort of calling the shots while, having guys just come out and do their thing. And that's what I think is going to be the best thing. I know I've mentioned him already, but for a guy like Devin Booker, how many times have we seen this guy just light it up from the floor, put up 40, 50 points, and then the Phoenix Suns still lose because they don't really have any structure in that backcourt besides Booker, and they don't have anyone to sort of really lead the charge and sort of keep everything organized. I think bringing in Chris Paul, like we said, brings in that veteran leadership. It brings in someone who's going to sort of calm everything down, make sure everything's organized, and just basically have a good head on their shoulders in terms of leading the team into battle.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Should be interesting to see as we move toward the NBA. It's only a week and 7 days away as it gets started December 22nd. We'll have the draft pretty soon, the trading deadline, free agency. A lot going on here as we get close to the NBA, start of the NBA season. All right, this is the drive-through, guys. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. each time with a lot of picks. And let's go ahead and get it going with our Pick Dogs cappers. We're going to go ahead and bring in Brian Bittler. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium as well as the morning show. Brian, how you doing? We were talking a little bit about this NBA as we're getting, we're getting some moves here as the season's approaching.
Well, remember the Phoenix Suns. I don't think they lost a game in the bubble, and I thought it was unfortunate that they didn't get a crack at the actual playoffs once they started because they were starting to heat up. And I think Chris Paul is going to add veteran leadership to a very young, up-and-coming team. And it's going to be a team on my radar for sure, the Suns.
The one thing I'll go back to Brian on this one. Well, the little thing I'm worried about with Phoenix is they lose a little depth. And you need depth in the NBA. If you just have a good starting five and you go to the bench, it puts a lot of pressure. We see what happens with Portland, right? When they don't give their starters enough help and they get worn out. I'm a little concerned there about depth. Of course, Devin Booker, Brian, has been injury prone in his career. And so is Ayton, by the way.
Yeah, he surely has. But I think he's in for his best season of his career. I think going into this year, I think he's right at the takeoff level for a career. I mean, Devin Booker's getting a little bit better every year. I think he's looking at like a 32, 33, 34 points a game from Booker this year, especially with Chris Paul, as the captain.
You know, Chris, one thing we talk about depth here is we're looking at minutes distribution. Now, you're not seeing too many players going 40 plus anymore. You know, the NBA's changed and they're very concerned about injuries. So you're seeing a lot of starters going 30 in the mid 30s, and that's where you really need to build a bench. So that's going to be interesting how they can construct one, or if they're relying on Chris Paul to develop some players for them.
No, I think it's going to be more at the former. I think they're going to have to bring some guys in because you look at the depth outside of the starting lineup. Okay, you've got Chris Paul at the point, Devin Booker, Michael Bridges, Cameron Johnson, and DeAndre Ayton. That's your starting five. Okay, that's great. That's a solid starting five. But then you go to the bench. At power forward, Dario Saric. Couldn't cut it in Philadelphia. Have a hard time even having him as a number 2 power forward on an NBA team. Aaron Baines, okay, yes, he's shown flashes as well, but is he a number 2 starter? Is he the guy you want to bring off your bench for 20, 25 minutes? I'm not quite sure. You know, Javon Carter and Elia Kobo, 2 guys that barely saw the floor for Phoenix for much of last year, and it's still going to be a young team. Cameron Payne is your third point guard. This is a team that has to bring in some depth via free agency or via a trade for a draft pick. I think you can either build through your first round pick and maybe ship out a second for a veteran or bring somebody in. There are guys out there that can definitely be complementary pieces for this young team that's going to need to bring in some depth because outside of your starting five, like we just said, that kind of bench isn't going to cut it.
You know, 10 less regular season games, a later start. We'll see how the schedule flows. The teams without the depth, that may still be an issue this year, as they're probably going to run the NBA up until the middle of July. So going to kind of shorten it up a little bit. All right, here on the drive-through, joined with Brian Biller. Brian, you're going to give us our show pick. You're going to be looking at some action on Tuesday. This one between Bowling Green and Buffalo, and it's a big line as you'd expect it to be, right? I mean, this one's on CBS Sports Network, by the way. Buffalo is laying some points here, 31.5, total of 60. How do you see this one?
I'm hoping that this week in the MAC I do much better than I did last week. I just couldn't get wins in the MAC last week, and I'm hoping to turn around this game here, Bowling Green. I think they're going to catch Buffalo at just the right time because Buffalo has a huge game coming up against Kent State, and I could easily see them looking past them a little bit. Bowling Green got beat 49-7 last year by Buffalo. I'm sure that has to be on their mind. And all the trends do favor Buffalo. They're 6-0 against the spread against this Bowling Green team last 6 games, and 6-1 the last 7 at Bowling Green against the spread. So, you know, these trends are made to be broken here. I think this line's a little bit, I see it as a 28, 27-point Buffalo win, and I just think we're getting a nice value here, and I think Buffalo looks ahead a little bit, takes the foot off the gas. I think we get a cover here from Bowling Green.
All right, Brian Butler says go ahead and take Bowling Green, the big underdog, 31.5 points against Buffalo. Chris, Buffalo, the favorites out of the MAC conference, pretty good quarterback play. How do you see this one?
I can definitely see the angle here because 31.5, let's face it, 31 still is a key number, even though it's a ton of points, and then you're putting the hook on top of that. I mean, your best hope for this is a 35-3 game at least for Buffalo. With laying 31.5, I think you're always going to be asking, and you always got to be looking over your shoulder for a backdoor cover, and that's potentially what we could see here. The problem for me personally is that I don't trust Bowling Green as far as I can throw them, and it's going to be one of those games where you kind of just have to either, you know, you got to plug your nose and pick a side here because you're either laying 32 points or almost 32 points in some places with a Buffalo team that they're supposed to be the best team in the MAC, but like Brian said, they could be looking ahead to that pivotal game against Kent State next week because whoever wins that game is probably coming out of that side of the MAC. So I could definitely see the Bowling Green plus 31.5 here. I could see Buffalo minus 31.5. It's a game that I still have to look at. I'll probably have something for tomorrow, but I still have to dig into it a little bit deeper.
All right, still looking a little bit more time on that one. All right, joined here with Brian Bittler. We got the pick from him, Bowling Green plus the points against Buffalo. As we're approaching here the bottom of the hour, Brian, why don't you let everybody know what you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
I tell you what, if you want a money shot for your wallet, I got my NFL Monday night money shot. I got the spread winner between the Vikings and Bears. You guys want to spread it out? $75 for a 3-day plan. You're going to get my Monday night football pick, my primetime Tuesday college football and my Wednesday college football. All for $75. Make sure you check that out at pickdogs.com, premium pick section.
That's right, guys. Check out Brian Biller over at Pig Dogs Premium. On the plus side here, college football, but why not pick up one of his long-term passes? Get 30 days all sports from Brian. That would be all his college football and NFL for 30 days. And don't forget college basketball. A week and 2 days away. A week from Wednesday. It's a big card. And morning and night basketball. If you go back and look at that schedule, it's a big schedule. A lot of ESPN games morning and night. So it's an all-day card. So you guys want to get by. We'll have a lot of picks on Tuesday for those Wednesday games. And maybe even on Wednesday we'll have some for the night session. So keep an eye there, guys. But picking it up right now from Brian Bittler. We're getting into very shortly everyday action from the hoops. Get on board with one of Brian's long-term passes. All right, Brian, as always, great having you on the show. We'll be listening for you in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time with Mitch and Company. See you in that big right-hand box today.
Yeah, I'm going to look forward. Me and Chris, the two best-looking guys on the morning show. We're going to be taking it tomorrow. We're going to be doing it again like we do every day of the week. But, me and I got to get a haircut so I fit in with the group. I got to get a nice new cut.
All right, we'll look for that.
I was gonna say he's too kind. He's too kind. I gotta just keep my. That's why I shave my head so I don't pull my hair out with some of these games.
All right, it's Brian Biller here joining us on the drive through. All right, Brian, as always, great having you on the show. Great night. We'll talk to you on Friday. So
we'll see you at the end of the week, guys.
All right, buddy, Brian Biller here on the drive through. I'm joined here with Chris Ruffalo as we take a look at some of the action here. For the action and more. We'll see what else we've got here. I'm going to put up this comment. We had one of our guys in the chat room likes the Buffalo in the first half, and we'll work to get his comment up there for you guys as we continue on. Joined by Chris Ruffalo. Actually, I can't bring it up right now. Let me go ahead and bring it up. We had one of our guys in the chat room wanted to chime in, and let's get him in here. Let's go. We had Alvel 28-3 first half for Buffalo. That would cover the first half line. We got that there from our guy here on the chat room. Of course, you guys don't forget to subscribe and, of course, smash that like button. We won't tell Chris to do it. He's already on keyboard number 54, but you can do it on your keyboard. Smash that like button and help us grow our audience. All right, don't give Chris any
56.
56. Oh my goodness. All right, Chris, we got the UEFA Nations League soccer for tomorrow. We got coverage here from Chris and El Ninos. We're going to start with Chris here. And Chris, you've got a juicy 3-team parlay.
That I do. I took a little bit of inspiration from what Mitch brought onto the show with his 2-team underdog parlay from last week for college football. You know what? I like that. I'm enjoying the Nations League, and I think last match day of the group stages. Tomorrow and Wednesday, I think we can get some value here. So the first game I'm going to look at is Spain and Germany. I think this is one of the marquee games of the day. This is a long storied rivalry. I don't have to really tell anybody who's watched much soccer that Spain versus Germany is one of the games, and it's been even. I mean, you look at all time, 9 wins for Germany, 7 for Spain, and 8 draws. You look at the standings though for this stage. Germany's ahead by 1 point on Spain, and basically 1 game to go. They need to win. Spain needs to win this game. Germany just needs to basically not lose, and I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see Germany maybe score a goal, potentially 1 goal. Maybe they might even score. They might not even score and just park the bus. I just don't see Spain, going past Germany here. So I'm on the draw with Germany at plus 245 for my first pick of the 3-leg parlay.
All right, Chris Ruffalo here with this first play, and Chris, I know you've got other plays coming up here. You're going to be looking at Spain, Germany, Croatia, Portugal, and Gibraltar and Liechtenstein.
Yeah, Croatia, Portugal again. This is just neither team can really do anything because Portugal. They're in second place in the group. Problem is that, yes, they could tie France on points if they win this game for first. Problem is France is 1-0-1 against Portugal. They win in a draw. So Portugal can't catch them based on head-to-head. So they're locked into second spot. They can't go anywhere. Croatia, again, this is a team that's, they've given up tied for the most goals and so far in the Nations League group stage, 13 goals in 5 games. again, this is another spot where I just see Portugal. They're supposed to be fielding a full team, like a top tier team. So I can see Portugal getting on the score sheet, but I can also see Croatia doing their part to try to avoid getting relegated, because if Sweden beats France, then Croatia's going down. But I just see this one ending all square as well. And the third game between two teams that I guarantee that I cannot find on a map, Gibraltar and Liechtenstein. I mean, these are two teams that are basically pretty much locked in wherever they are. Liechtenstein has to win this game to go ahead of Gibraltar. Gibraltar, all they need is a draw to go through to the higher league, League C. They'll move up a division. Again, this is just one where I just see Gibraltar doing just enough to move ahead. I see this one ending as a draw, so you're going to take Croatia, Portugal to draw, Spain, Germany to draw, Gibraltar and Liechtenstein to draw. Parlay those three up, it'll pay you well over plus 3,600.
All right, you see the right there from Chris Ruffalo, his plays here, parlay here, drawing Croatia, Portugal, Spain, Germany, and Gibraltar, Liechtenstein, draw, and of course, plus 36.35 on your parlay from Chris Ruffalo. That's UEFA Nations League for tomorrow. All right, Chris, as we are approaching the bottom of the hour, why don't you let everybody know what you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
Well, I got my Monday Night Monster bet still up there. You know, this is one of my favorite plays of the week. We're going to close out the week 10 of NFL football on a winning note. You know, this is one of my favorite plays. This is a play that I've circled maybe 3-4 times, but I've had to go back. I might even go put a fifth bet on this game before the night's out. But definitely hop on that. I put it up there for only $25. It's as low as I can go. But you know, we keep saying it. Hook up with one of those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day packages. 3 days going to get you the rest of the MAC football throughout the week. We've been killing the MAC on my part of the website. 7-day will get you all the football for the rest of the week. Maybe even some college basketball if we get it up there early enough. 30 days is going to get you well almost up till Christmas. It's going to be the best gift you can get yourself. Guys, starting the beginning of December, and this is something that I still have to do a little bit of work on, we're going to start, you know, Christmas time's a gift that keeps on giving. I'm going to have some stuff for you guys, whether it's, you know, a free premium pick here and there, you know, you can reduced package for the day. Keep tuning into the drive-through. We're going to have stuff to offer you. You don't want to miss out on any of this.
That's right. We're looking here at a good second half of November. Big December. A lot of action here of college basketball. The NBA is coming in December, guys. So a good time to pick up, get on board a long-term pass here from Chris Ruffalo. Third-day all-sports pass now available from Chris. So pick it up at the website. All right, continue on the drive-through. As we hit the bottom of the hour, we still have, we will get to the Vikings Bears. We have a free pick on that one. We're also going to have some action from Akron, Kent State. And let's go ahead and bring in our man Rod Zawacki. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. You'll also we'll listen to him in the morning with Chris and company and Mitch. Let's see. Whoop, we had that wrong. Let's see where we got him at. We've got him on the three-way. There we go. Rod Zawacki, how you doing? You feeling even better now with your Dolphins? Big win against the Chargers.
Yeah, another big win. Dolphins just keep on rolling. They gained a spot too with that crazy Cardinals comeback too. That worked in our favor with Buffalo getting the loss there.
Yeah, so Miami dealt right there in the middle of the playoff race there. Looking for them, hoping they can get into that AFC East crown. And just your thoughts here on the play from Tua we've seen the last couple games.
Tua's looking good. Was a little worried, like I said on the morning show. His legs. He can actually run. He's gaining more confidence as the games go by. I think he was a little worried that first game, and then the second game he got even better. And he's got the confidence. It's going to take someone to knock him off the pedestal and get a loss to see what happens. His reaction after that. But right now they're rolling. Team's going good. I'm excited. For what the future is going to hold for the Dolphins, man.
Yeah, it looks really good. Good coaching, good defensive play. We saw some of it last year. Everyone told the team to tank. Said, no, we're not going to tank. We got, they don't understand. You got to take some of those players in the next season, right? You can't release every player on your roster. You need some of those guys from last year to play. That's why the Dolphins were playing hard. These guys were playing for jobs, right?
Yep, exactly. That's what happened last year too. They were definitely playing hard for jobs for this year.
And that's what happens.
The coach definitely has everybody working hard on the Dolphins, and they're looking like a solid team right now.
Yep, they certainly are. Speaking of solid team, you're going to be looking at this Kent State team as they're hosting Akron. Kent State, really experienced team coming into this season with their quarterback, but we're facing on a poor little. Are we picking on Akron again? How do you see this one?
For me, I see this one. I look at this, and you see that Kent State's they're lying, and they blew out Bowling Green by 55. What was it, 55-17 or 55-7? I think is what I got. Yeah, 55-7. And then I come and look at this one, and you look at the numbers, and Kent State's averaging 44 points a game is where I got this number, and then Akron, and they're 11 points a game. So I think a lot of the money came in early on this. It opened at like 58, and people jumped on the over and bet that hard. And for me, history between these teams indicates that it's going to be a little less scoring than what they got there. So for me, I'm going to take the under. The under has been 8-2. Between 8-2 to the under the last 10 games between these two, and the under is 11-5-1 when Kent State's at home as a home favorite. For me, I see Kent State winning this like 45-10, maybe 10 if Akron's lucky, maybe 13. So we just slide under the number for me. Take under 60.5.
All right, Rod Zweig says go under total of 60.5. Of course, you're looking at the under. Chris Ruffalo, we'll go ahead and put you on camera here. You're going to really sweat the under out. I want to get your thoughts here. The question is, can Kent be kept under 50 points here? That's the big question, right?
This is a jar of headache pills that is half empty from my last game watching Akron play, because I am tired of the Zips playing Division I football. Oh man, Tony, what do I always say about Akron? Where did they get their name from? This is a team that is lucky to score because the Akron Zips are named the Zips because that's how many points they're going to score on a given day. Granted, they proved me wrong twice this season. They've scored 13 and 10 points. Big whoop. I hate to break it to you, Akron. This team is still terrible. We said 89% production came back. Doesn't matter when you can't score however much of your team you're going to bring back. That's a point where you want to make sure you're bringing in new players. If you're gonna, bringing in 89% of last year's team is more of a detriment to this team than it is an asset, but then it is helping. I think Rod's got this one spot on. I think that this is a case of whether or not Akron contributes to this total. I don't think they do at all. I could easily see this being 52-3. If that, I think Akron is just, once again, horrendous. This is a team that's probably going 0-6, is going to give Kansas a run for their money as the biggest margin of defeat in their conference this season. This is not a good team. This has blowout written all over it. You just have to worry that potentially Kent State has an equal performance like they did last week against Bowling Green, where they get over the total on their own. But historically, Kent State hasn't put together back-to-back dominant offensive performances. So I'm on the under as well here.
All right, looking at the under, and of course,
the reason why I went to the under, and I don't see that Kent State, their last game was a little bit of a revenge game, getting back at Bowling Green for beating them the year before, I believe, or making it close. Anyways, that's why I just don't see Kent State trying as hard to blow the snot off of Akron and trying to hit 60. I think they just run right by. They get around 40 something, and then just cruise to the win. They're looking to cruise to the win, move on to the next game.
Yeah, and sometimes you can score 60 by accident against Akron. You know, so you gotta be careful.
I'm telling you, this Akron team is a team that's down 31 before they even get to the stadium. Like this, like you. Oh my God. You know what this is? You remember? I can't remember which team it was. I think it was Louisiana Tech, where they had like the snap went past the quarterback's head, and everyone just kept trying to pick it up, and they kept kicking the ball, and it ended up being 4th and 87 or something like that.
I remember
Somehow, Akron would get scored on that 4th and 87. I guarantee it.
They would be an underdog to about 3/4 of the FBS teams. I mean, that's the FCS teams.
I guarantee you, they would be at least a touchdown underdog to your North Dakota States, to a team like a Jacksonville. Well, I don't know about Jacksonville State, but let's say North Dakota State, a team that perennially does well in the FCS. Akron will be at least a touchdown underdog to them. I guarantee it.
Yeah, okay, no argue there. All right, Rod Zawacki, Kent State, Akron to go under a total of 60.5. All right, we passed the bottom of the hour. I want everybody to know, Rod, what you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium.
I still got, I've got one selection. I've got the side winner in tonight's Monday Night Football, or if you want the total, I've got the winner, or I got the total over under on that one as well. Or your best bet, grab a 3-day. We got football. I got 2 picks in there for tonight's games. We'll have tomorrow's action going. We'll have Wednesday football, and I'm already locked in. I like Thursday's game already. But you'll probably get it as well. Your best is to get a 3-day. You'll get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you'll get Thursday's action as well, because I'll make sure it's in there.
All right, that's the way to do it. Get a 3-day, and Rod will make sure it's a 4-day by having that Thursday action in there before the 3-day expires. So get it on right now over at Pig Dogs Premium. All sports pass, all the Rod Zawacki's plays, NFL, college football for 3 days. He'll make it a 4th, including the Thursday action. All right, Rod, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great night, and we will
Great
talk
to be
with
here.
you a couple days if I can get my act together here with this. All right.
You guys have a good night, and we'll see you in the morning, Chris, for another day of fun and exciting morning show action.
Morning show action starts it all off at 10 a.m. Eastern time with Mitch and the company, Chris, Rob, Brian Bittler, and Annie going at it. And we'll see who gets the top score on the upper right. We'll see. It's always interesting to see who gets that spot.
It'll probably be Brian again. Brian again. Mitch likes sticking the 2 Huskies on the bottom. That's why he calls us the Puck Dogs, because the 2 Husky guys have to go on the bottom row.
All right.
We go on the bottom, and we squish somebody in the middle.
It's like that airplane seat that Tony always seems to get. He gets stuck between the two giant guys, and he's the one that's kind of crushed in the middle, and he can't open his peanuts because his arms are tied.
Oh goodness!
And then we steal the peanuts, right?
Or they cover the
the
entire handrest. They cover the entire handrest because their arms are so big.
Yeah.
Okay. The armrest is there for a reason. Okay. The fact that I hogged it, that was one time, and you never let me forget it.
There you go. All right, Rod. Have yourself a good night. We'll be back with you tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
And we'll look for that birdcage at the end of the show. Don't forget that pick.
You bet. I have a play ready to go for tonight.
Right.
It'll be on tonight's football, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, because Rod Zawacki will have one up there. Of course, we always break down the picks at the end of the show. So if you log in late, don't forget, we recap the plays at the end, and we do it nice and slow for you guys. Sometimes even keep it up there for a little while for you guys. All right, we'll continue on here on the drive-through. It's time to bring in our buddy El Ninos. El will come in here. We got some Nations League as UEFA action as well. Al, how you doing today? Your Raiders looking pretty good, my man.
Yeah, looking pretty good indeed. It's been a while since we had a season like that, but I'm looking, as I said, I'm excited to see it, and I hope they keep rolling.
Yeah, I mean, your Dodgers got there, your Lakers got there. Now your Raiders are our playoff contender.
It's a bit early to be talking about that, but yeah, I don't think they're quite as in as good a spot as the Dodgers or Lakers. But hey, they've been good, and they even gave the Chiefs their only loss of the season. So
yeah,
so you never know.
Well, if they beat them again, what will they be saying, right? They'll be a Super Bowl contender, right? And that's how that happens. That's how it happens in the NFL. That's how it happens in the NFL. In 1 week can change perspective of any team in this league. It's crazy.
You never know. A couple injuries here and there, a couple COVIDs. You never know.
You never know what'll happen. Of course, there's some news with your Lakers. I got to ask you this question: as Danny Green was out there speaking. Well, LeBron's is gonna take some rest. Rest. They're talking about rest for Anthony Davis, and of course they shipped him out. And now you get Dennis Schroeder.
I guess that's what happens. You don't want to you don't upset LeBron too much. But yeah, we talked about the rest last time. I gave my 2 cents on that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the back-to-backs. It definitely gives them a reason to give them players some rest. So you don't want to see them rest. Don't give them back-to-backs. I think that's gonna avoid a lot of rest issues.
Absolutely. All right, Al, you're going to go into UEFA Nations League. You're looking at Switzerland, Ukraine for Tuesday. What do you got?
Yeah, pretty interesting matchup here. Definitely not the game of the day. We got some other pretty good ones though, but definitely a good chance to make some money on this one. Ukraine just needs the draw here to avoid relegation as they travel to Switzerland. Unfortunately for them, they've been hit with some COVID tests, as we just talked about. Positive COVID tests. So they'll be missing some key players there. They did beat Switzerland 2-1 when they faced them earlier in the competition. Switzerland still hasn't won one in this Nations League yet. They got 3 draws and 2 losses. But all that being said, I don't think that missing players will be enough for Switzerland, who will need actually the win here to push Ukraine out into League B of the Nations League. But again, I don't think those missing players be enough for the Swiss to come out with the win here. So I'm going to take a shot at this draw, which is pretty juicy itself at plus 295. I see it all the way down to plus 260 in other places. So make sure you get the most value you can out of that one. And yeah, I think it's a great shot for us to hit that draw at that big plus money.
All right, El Nino says take Switzerland and Ukraine to draw at plus 290 UEFA Nations League. Chris, you take a look at that one? Can you add that to your 4-teamer? Your 3-teamer?
Why are you trying to stir the pot? Just because I said I can't find Gibraltar and Liechtenstein on a map, that doesn't mean you have to try to give me an easier game to try to be able to find. No, I'm kidding. I did look at this game. It's tough because, Ukraine is dealing with a ton of COVID issues in that lineup. And going against a Switzerland team with their backs up against the wall, it's not just that Switzerland need to win this game. They need to win this game by 2 goals to have a chance at survival. And, I think that Ukraine has 2 wins and Switzerland hasn't got on the board yet. And this is too good of a Switzerland team, I think, to be relegated. I like this team. And, I just don't see I don't see the quality in the Ukrainian lineup as it is, and I think with a bunch of COVID issues, I think this team's going to really be depleted. I think I could easily see the draw. I can see the angle that Al's taking with this one. For me personally, I had Switzerland -1, just because if they do win the game by 1, at least it's a push. But we're getting plus 120 with the -1. So I think Switzerland's going to throw everything they have at the Ukrainians here, and I think Switzerland might win this one 2-0. Like I said, 2-1 or something like that. It's a tough game, and it's one of the reasons why I didn't throw this one in my parlay. But again, with 2 teams with near the bottom of the respective group, this is a hard one to call.
All right, Chris, a tough one to call here with Switzerland and Ukraine. That's El Nino's play at plus 290 odds. All right, Al, as we're approaching the top of the hour, quarter till the hour, why don't you let everybody know what you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
Well, I was about to agree with one of Chris's draws and maybe suggest throwing it on a parlay with my draw, but you know what? After that, let's just stick to my draw. But yeah, I got my Monday Night Football. I got couple other Nations League games that I do like better than this draw out for tomorrow. I'm looking at a third one, but I do think, unfortunately, I will be staying away from it. So I think looks like just 2 soccer plays for tomorrow, and we'll be looking at the college plays after the show.
All right, guys, check out Nino's over at Pig Dogs Premium. Why not pick up one of those long-term passes? You got a 7-day, 30-day, even a 3-day, all of his plays for that period of time. NFL and college football. And he also sprinkled in some of those European soccer. We're in a lot of Nations League during the week. Back to the premiere this weekend. So for sure to check out El Nino's over there at Pig Dogs Premium. All right, Al, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk with you next week.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, everybody. El Nino's here on the drive-through, getting a chuckle there out of Ron, so what?
Al Ninos gets a petty point out of me. That takes some courage. Saying, you know what, I was going to give you credit, but you know what, you disagree with me, so I'm pulling that off the table now. I'll give Al credit. That was good. Switzerland. I'm going to tell you right now. Switzerland -3 plus 1,300. Book it.
Okay, there you go. From Chris Ruffalo, added pick. And
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Don't even put me near anything with that to do with Switzerland, unless it's Swiss chocolate or Swiss cheese. That's all I want.
That's all he wants, no doubt. Or that Swiss Miss hot chocolate and those cold nights aren't too bad either. Uh-oh. What, the marshmallows? Uh-oh. All right, guys.
This chair can't take it. I don't have a springy chair like Ron. This chair might have to break underneath me.
Oh, no. Don't forget, guys, subscribe to our channel. Free picks every day. And, of course, as we talked about, be sure to help grow our audience by liking. Give us that thumbs up, that like, and be sure to set those notifications because Mitch is live morning, noon, and night with either his show, computer show, my show, halftime shows, lots of shows on the YouTube stations here on Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Play. So make sure when you subscribe, you set that notification so you get that notification when we're live on the air. All right, continue on the drive-thru. I know this Bear game is getting a lot of discussion over in the chat area, and this is my free pick for today. So let's go ahead and get this thing wound up. And I'm going to be here I'm going to agree with a lot of people on the chat today. I'm going to take the Bears plus 3.5 against the Vikings. We know the outdoor weather in Chicago. I'm seeing wind in the forecast. Could be gusts up to 10, 11 miles per hour. You know, Minnesota's the dome team having to deal with those elements outdoors. Bears have won 4 straight against the Vikings. Kirk Cousins does not have much luck here in Monday Night Football, but I like the Bears defense. Good, holding teams to 317 yards a game, 3.7 per rushing attempt. Nagy's turning over the play calling to his offensive coordinator. We know Minnesota's had issues with that young defense. Let's see how they handle this outdoor situation. Going to stay away from the dome team here. I'm going to take the Bears. You can find them at plus 3.5. What say you, Chris, on this one?
Oh, this was definitely, obviously being the game of the day. I think it's hard to really make a case for the Vikings in my opinion. It's also hard to make a case for the Bears. I mean, we talked about it a little bit this morning. I think the Bears may get a little bit of a benefit with Matt Nagy handing off the play calling duties to his coordinator and actually focus on being a head coach and focusing on all 3 phases of the game. Plus Kirk Cousins in prime time on Monday night. Oh boy, that's bowling shoe ugly. But on the other hand, Chicago's offense has been pretty much anemic for much of the season. It's been a hard team to watch. I will tell you, I have my premium play is on the side, but for the total, I mean, I can see this one. I personally see this one going over, only because I think Chicago's going to wake up under a new coordinator. I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for that offense. And I see Minnesota doing their fair share of damage on the scoreboard as well, even though they've had issues against the Bears in the past. And, it was a little bit chalky this morning for a first touchdown scorer. You usually get your plus 600s, plus 700s. I mentioned this morning, I like it even more. I like Dalvin Cook to score the first touchdown at, I think it was plus 350. Everyone's like, there's not a ton of value. When you're cashing a winner, a profit is a value for me. And I think if you're getting plus 350 or anything around there, maybe even plus 400 or something in that ballpark, to take a guy in Cook who's scored a touchdown in every game he's played this season, and he's been the first touchdown scorer, I think, in 5 of the last 7 games for Minnesota, that's a ton of value to me. The fact that we're getting that kind of plus money, that's something that I want as well.
All right, Chris Ruffalo here looking at the total in this one. All right, guys, this is a drive-thru. Don't forget, we're here Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. each time. We do it all over again. And tomorrow we'll have some more plays from action on the card for Tuesday, and we'll look at even some more football action as well. We'll delve into some more Nations League or European soccer. All right, it's time now to go ahead and recap the plays from today. And we're going to go ahead and I've got to chime in El Ninos. Let me go ahead and get him on here. El Ninos. He can join us on this segment. We've given him the permission. All right, Al's going to get right here. Let's see. Come on, Al. We in here? All right. There we go. El Ninos. We got him. All right, let's go. We got started off with Brian Bittler. Said take Bowling Green plus 31.5 against Buffalo. Chris Ruffalo. This is a 3-team parlay UEFA Nations League for Tuesday. Croatia, Portugal draw with. Spain, Germany draw with. Gibraltar and Liechtenstein draw. That's parlayed at plus 36.35 return. Rod Zawacki, Kent State, Akron under 60.5. Al, Switzerland, Ukraine to draw at plus 290, UEFA Nations League for Tuesday. And yours truly, we're on the Bears tonight, plus 3.5 against the Vikings. All right, we'll start here with Chris Ruffalo. Other than your play, which one do you like the best?
You know what? I didn't think I'd actually do this. I'm going to change my tune. I'm going to go with Al and his Switzerland-Ukraine draw. I did a little bit of looking while we were talking about the Bears game, and you know what? I think Al Ninos could be onto something here. So I'm going to take Al's pick of Switzerland-Ukraine to draw.
All right, he says that. All right, Al. Other than your play, let's see here. Let me pull up this little comment. We got BZ Baby Sid likes that as well. If we can get it up there, we'll see. We'll get him up there in a little bit. All right, Al. Other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
Okay, all jokes aside, the one I was looking at most. Well, actually, there's two of them that have a really good shot at hitting the draw. It's Croatia, Portugal, and Spain, Germany. Both have a very good shot at the draw. I have not looked at the Gibraltar and Liechtenstein game yet. But if Chris says it's a good opportunity for a draw, I will take his word for it. But I will do my own research on it as well. I do like Croatia, Portugal draw a lot. Actually, it was my favorite one that I was going to originally agree with. And then, as I said, Spain, Germany has a great shot to hit as well.
All right, that's Al Ninos here with the plays, and I will look at Radzawacki under. I think Akron's going to be challenged here to score. That's what I'm looking at. All right, here on the drive-through, guys. We're here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, with more coverage. And don't forget, it all gets started at 10 a.m. Eastern time with Mitch, Rod, Chris, Mitch, and Annie as they get you started with the morning show. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the group from today and give you guys a nice wave. And don't forget, look below. That's Chris. That is Radzawacki's play here. His birdcage play for today. Vikings minus a point, half point in first quarter, getting you up some plus 115 odds. All right, wave goodbye to everyone, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow